I'm going to be doing a series of reviews on a Giant Anthem 27.5. I'm going to do this like I did with my Giant Trance and do a first look and then do a series of reviews as I get more riding time on the bike. I did finish building this up 2 nights ago and got a ride in yesterday, but I'm going to reserve my comments on the ride for right now until I get a full week of riding on it. And so again, this video will just be an overview of the bike. Now, I got this bike as a frame only, so I'm not going to go into real specifics on the components because I picked out each component, but I will talk about why I picked them out and how they affect the riding of the bike. So I'll focus on the frame for a few minutes. I ended up going with the aluminum frame for several reasons, all of which combined to form my decision to go with aluminum over carbon. And these are not in particular order, but first of all, the shock. I am really particular to Fox, and the carbon frame comes with the rock shocks, and I wanted to go with Fox. So not the complete reason why I went with it, but it did play into the decision. The other reason is I am on a budget. I have 4 bikes, and so I can't go crazy. And what I wanted to do this time was put more money into the wheel set. I went with the Stan's Podium wheel set instead of the Crest wheel set, which I normally go with. The Podiums are almost twice the price of the Crest, and I wanted to go more, saving weight on the wheel set. And as many of you know, if you're going to save weight and you have to pick, you want to pick rotational mass over stationary, and so that's why I went with this wheel set and put the money towards the wheel set instead of the frame. The other reason I went with the aluminum is this is my first 27.5 cross-country bike. I really like 27.5 for trail bikes, and I'm convinced that for me and my riding style, that's the way to go for trail bikes. For cross country, it's still kind of a gamble. 29ers have worked really well for me, and I did test ride some 27.5s and really like them and decided to take a shot. So I didn't want to go all in with a carbon frame yet until I am convinced that this is the way I want to go full on for cross country. And the carbon frame, it's still aluminum in the rear triangle. The front triangle is carbon. So, you're going to get a weight savings with carbon, but it's probably not a drastic weight savings. This frame weighed a little over 5.5 pounds. I weighed it with the seat post collar and the shock and the headset cups, which came installed already on the frame. So, pretty respectable weight. The entire bike weighs 23.8 pounds as it's built, and again, I'm going to go into the components here in a few minutes. And being that it's a 27.5, I don't feel like you're going to get a lot of flex with this frame. So one benefit with carbon is it's really stiff. I'm not that heavy, and so I don't really need a super stiff bike to keep it from flexing. So with 27.5, the chain stays are shorter. You've got less torque being put on the frame, and so I don't think that carbon is as important as it would be for a 29er. I'll go over the cable routing on this bike, and I've built a lot of bikes over the years, and this one by far has been my favorite cable routing. You've got these rubber plugs, which when you pull these off, you've got a big hole. It's very easy to drop the cables down into this frame and have them come out the other side. If you've ever built a bike or replaced cables on carbon frames where you have to just fish the inner wire through the frame, it can be a hassle. This again was so easy. It's a very clean design. I did run the brake cable inside. You can run it on the outside. It's got bosses on it if you don't feel like cutting your hydraulic lines, which you have to do to put these through the frame. Now I will say, if you build one of these, don't make the mistake I made. And I ran the cables through the frame thinking these rubber plugs were slotted and I could just slide them over the the wires. They are not. You actually have to put the wires through them. So I had to pull everything back out and run them through the plugs here, and then run them back through the frame. You run a full housing, and it on the chainstay, it goes in here, comes out here, and again, it's really easy to get it through. I did not have any problems getting the cables through the frame. And while I'm talking about the frame, let me go into so far what's been my biggest gripe. And you guys know that I try to be honest in my reviews. I'm a fan of Giant. Two of my favorite brands right now are Giant and Niner. And but I'm not going to be partial and not hold back. Giant included with this bike the adapters to run a 142. They included the axle for the 135 spacing, but they did not include the 142 axle. That actually does excuse me, come with the carbon frame, but it does not come with the aluminum frame. Now the reason that's a hassle is because the inserts run a different thread pattern than a RockShox Maxle. So you can't go out and buy a Maxle. You have to get the DT Swiss that's made for Giant 142 axle, and you can't get it from DT Swiss. You can only get it through Giant. At least that's what my local bike shop told me, and they're pretty trustworthy. And Giant's back ordered on those. So, you know, I have to wait about 6 weeks before I get the axle to run this as a 142. So then I've got to convert the hubs. At least these Stans hubs are really easy to convert back to a 142. But you know, that's my biggest gripe. With the buying power that Giant gets, I think they could probably get those axles from DT Swiss for $5 and include those with the frame. And I really think they should have done that. But so far, that's only been my gripe with the frame. What's really nice is all the little plugs and things that they include. Now I'm running this as a 1x, and they include this little block to put here if you don't want to run a front derailleur. They include various plugs if you're going to just plug it up and not run cables through. You know, again, they include kits for 135, 142. They include the headset. It's an FSA headset, and the bearing cups were already installed. So overall, I'm really pleased with what's included, except of course for not including the 142 axle. I'll go over the components that I built this up with. Again, I picked out every component myself based on my years of experience. First of all, the drivetrain. I did go with the 1x, and I didn't get the SRAM XX. I kind of did my own. These are the new race face chain rings, which are similar to the XX in that you don't have to run a chain guide, which is awesome. And I did not want to pay $400 for a SRAM XX rear cassette, 11-speed cassette. I'm just not going to do that. You know, I went with an XT cassette. You know, they cost about, I don't know, 80 bucks or so. So far, this race face chain ring has worked great. I've not dropped a chain. I've run 1x's in the past, but had to run a chain guide. And it's really nice to be able to get these chain rings that hold the chain on without using a chain guide. I went with XT mainly for the components. You know, XTR is a tad lighter, but to me it's not worth the extra coin just to save a few ounces. I went with the XT brakes. These so far have been my favorite brakes. Again, XTR would have been a little bit lighter, but the performance is not better on the XTR, and so I really like the XT brakes. I went with a race face crankset, and the reason that I did that is you can buy these without any chain rings. You just buy basically it comes with the bottom bracket and the crank arms. It did come with a threaded bottom bracket, so I had to buy the press fit, which is what this frame uses. Doesn't really matter to me. I actually kind of prefer press fit now because, you know, if you get a creaking sound in your drivetrain, it's typically not the bottom bracket with the press fit. If it is, then the bearings are going bad and they're pretty easy to change out. Some of the other components, just a race face. It looks like a flat bar, but it's actually got about a 5-degree rise to it, and so you know, keep the front end low when I'm riding. And I went with a 90mm stem, of course a Fox fork. I went with the 27.5, just standard F100, which has the trail adjust. So when you're in the middle setting here, you can adjust the level of pro pedal, and then fully open and locked out. Of course, a 15 QR in the front. I'm running XT pedals, WTB saddle, which I have on all of my bikes now. Most comfortable for me. Thompson seat post. And that's pretty much it for the first look of this bike. I'll put a weekend of riding and come back and give you guys an update on the ride characteristics. I do have a Trance, so this will be a really good comparison to let you guys know how the Anthem rides compared to the Trance. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned to my channel in a week or two for me to post up another video showing or talking about how this bike rides. Thanks.